Hey Honeybunches, welcome back to another sit down video. I've seen a couple of like these types of videos where people share some of their old artwork and I've thoroughly enjoyed them. Little shout out, oh no Nina. Her channel's really groovy and she's really creative and has done a couple of these and they're really fun to watch. So I'm gonna try and do my own. It's gonna be really cringe-worthy. Art was like my favourite subject throughout middle school, high school. I did it like in my final year as well. I loved it a lot, even though the teachers sometimes were questionable. But yeah, I did some cool stuff, but there's no way I'm letting all of this be like the cream of the crop, or the vegan cream of the crop. No, like I need to get back in and exercise that muscle to produce some more stuff, because like this is, yeah, it's perfectly imperfect. You know, it has its own quirks and charms, and I guess the fact that it's very flawed is kind of the point. But anyway, let's get into it. This is from like year 6 is the youngest age I was when I did the first piece, and then a lot of them are in high school. So, oh, and excuse my mullet of a haircut. That's something that happened this week. I think it looks okay now. It's curled in a way that doesn't look so mullety. I didn't ask for it, but then I guess it's still my fault because I didn't interfere and say, that's a bit short. Can we not? Yeah, I'm not so great at saying no to older figures. Anyway, getting into the video. This is, I think I called her Annie the avocado. She's a little clay, like, sit on your bookshelf type of creature. She's made out of clay, did her in year 6. And I quite like her. I mean, her eyes are a bit coralline-y, and she doesn't actually resemble an avocado at all. Like, I think people think she's a turtle or a dinosaur, something like that. The idea was that she was holding her pip in place, but that doesn't work because if she was holding her pip in place, she'd have to be cut in half, but she's evidently not cut in half. So I don't know what I was thinking. I guess trying to work my idea into the brief of making like a dingly dangly sort of creature, which is quite cute. I still have her on my bookshelf, and maybe I need to just put a few more highlights in the eyes to make her less scary. But yeah, year 6, not bad. I'm not kinder to these artworks that were done like further and further ago, so yeah, the more recent ones that I can remember doing more clearly, I'm like, what were you thinking? Another artwork that I did when I was in middle school, so one of the further ago ones, was this etching. I just sort of decided to do a zebra in a nighttime savannah-y type of scene with a big fat moon, because that's realistic. I quite like it. I mean, I don't think I could have gone too wrong because I think we were just tracing, you know, like different images together, so I definitely got the outline and the zebra stripes from somewhere. But it's kind of cute. It's a nice scene, and yeah, I still have it like up. So that's great. That's a bonus. So in year 12, we did 2 final artworks. We were like exploring all different mediums and chucking ideas throughout like the first 3 quarters of the final year, and then in the end what we were like assessed on was, as well as other theory stuff, was 2 final works. So one of them was a series of photographs I took of like teenage girls' bedrooms, because I really liked the idea that they were, I mean they're not, mine really isn't, like a reflection of themselves, and they're like mini museums. So this is the one I have of my room at the time, but there were like 6 others of friends' rooms that were much more groovy than mine, and that's just an example of my horrid fashion sense while studying my little tushy off in year 12. Yeah, my photography skills could have been improved though. Some of them weren't even like fully in focus. Quality. Then the other thing I did in year 12 was a series of, I really did overkill, like I don't know why I needed to do this many. It was 60 blind contour self-portrait drawings. So they all look completely different even though they are all of me. I'll just show you like a handful. Yeah, I had like this mirror set up next to me and I had the page there, and I'm just like, and I could see the page like out the corner of my eye, so I like knew perspective wise if I was like near the top or near the bottom. But yeah, it was like 90% blind. But yeah, I don't know why I did 60. I presented them on like big cardboard boards and they like took up the whole art room. That was a bit unnecessary. A bit look at me. And now I just sort of sell them if anyone wants them. Like super cheap. Just get rid of them. I mean, they're cool. they make a good cheap gift year after year. They're a bit different, and I guess they sort of explore how, or infinite number of ways to represent something, even within ourselves, not even from person to person. Yeah, so there were 60 of them, not excessive at all. Then the other things that I was going to show you are not here, so I'll just play clips over the top. This is a photography piece I did in year 11. It was just a brief to do like a portrait with our own meaning behind it, so I decided to like sort of do an anti-portrait, I guess. That's my brother with his head in a hedge, and the idea was that he was sort of like embodying this old man. Obviously he's not, but I don't really have an old man to ask to make it, put his head in a hedge. And then instead of like us seeing his face, because generally portraits are of people's faces, whoa, if you didn't know. So instead his possessions are laid out on the pavement to kind of represent who he is in like symbols and consumery goods, which is like a whole message in itself. I don't really like the saturation of the colouring is a bit too vibrant. It wasn't really what I was envisaging. So yeah, I guess I like the idea more than the execution of this. But you know, it's a bit different. People go, oh. So that's a plus. This other piece that I did in year 11, whew, it's a shocker. It's a ceramic bust made out of clay. It was definitely like, didn't have enough experience with clay to be trusted with this many kilos of the stuff. We were all doing busts, and mine was like a two-sided bust, and the idea was that one was meant to be pregnant and the other was meant to be fat, although she's not fat at all, so it doesn't really work. I think I called the piece like, are you pregnant? Because it's the whole idea of, you know, some women are asked if they're pregnant in workplaces or something and they're just not, and it's sort of a social commentary on that. So yeah, again, idea's kind of much better than the execution, because if you haven't realised, the boobs are up near the collarbones. They're like little parallel lines, they're not proportionate at all. Everything's really kind of a bit out, and the pregnant side is like the curvature of the belly is not right, nor is the fat side, but getting it to balance in my only like wimpy defense was sort of like my excuse why that didn't turn out. But yeah, it's now in our garden, probably like got a little rat family living inside it. Another piece I did in year 11 was this big charcoal drawing. We were like just exploring different mediums all in year 11, which I guess was like to set us up for our final year. That worked so well. But this charcoal, we had to like come in with what our concept design was going to be. I just didn't know. So I remember I went up to my grandparents' place at like 7 AM, took a few pictures of them just sleeping, because I thought that'd be something, I don't know, interesting, cool. And so I just did this charcoal of my grandpa with one eye open, and like there's no meaning behind it at all apart from it's like kind of comical. Yeah, and the shading in parts, I like went in too hard too soon in so many places, like behind the pillows and like either side of his nose, yeah, on the pillows or the doona, the quilt. It's not so great, don't look too close. But yeah, it's now hanging above their beds, and they like to tell all their friends about it. My grandparents, that is, so that's something great that came out of it. And the last thing I was going to talk about is this painting I did. We were like doing oil or acrylic. I think I did like a blending of the two. So I painted this picture of my friend Carla with a flower in her mouth. Again, no real meaning, just looked semi-cool. And I did it in sort of like a colour by number. I was really interested in that. Like a real sort of block. I mean, it's not that block, but it's not realistic, you know. And then in the background, there wasn't really much in the photo that I took of her, so I was like, well, I don't know if I just want to paint it white or a block colour. So I was like, oh, patterns, oh, let's paint fruit. And I just did all these fruit by memory in like tacky acrylic colours with no shading, and the pips on the strawberry, or the seeds rather, are like green stripes. It's so, ugh, it does an injustice to the actual like portrait of my friend, because that's like not too shabby. I think that's it. That's all my artworks that are worth sharing. Let's put it that way. Interested in those 60 line drawings? They're on Etsy, so yeah. Otherwise, have a great week. The next video is going to be a food video, because you've had enough of my face being in front of the camera, that's for sure. otherwise, yeah, that's about it. Hope you're doing super well. This made you smile in some way. And you have a great rest of your day. Okie dokie. Thanks for watching, honey bunches. Bye.